But we got to talk a little more Guardians before we get to those Ant specialties. And we're going to do that thanks to FanDuel. It is America's #1 sportsbook. And with the FanDuel partnership here at the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, we want to feature your winning tickets on the show if you win a FanDuel bet this summer, whether it's on baseball, soccer, basketball, boxing, you name it. We don't care. If it's a winning ticket, send it in so we can feature it here and give you some love on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. If you haven't downloaded FanDuel yet, well, we have an offer just for you right now. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if their first $5 bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. All right,
sorry,
guys.
Mike, I missed your text.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Not that important. We're going to talk a little more Guardians before we get into some Ant specialty topics. But this is something we've tried to ask in the past, and for whatever reason, we just haven't had time on the show. And he did not hit a home run yesterday, Bull. He did have 2 hits, but did not hit a home run. The question I wanted to ask, and I'll start with you, Ant.
Ooh.
Are you over the Bo Naylor experiment at catcher, or do you still believe Bo Naylor could be the Guardians' long-term answer behind the plate?
No, I don't think he's a long-term answer, unfortunately. And this is not my Austin Hedges bias coming out. He's still a better hitter than Hedges will ever probably be.
With everybody is a better hitter.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got 9 home runs this season, which makes him 4th on the team. So offensively, he's not the worst that we have. Playing catcher, he makes too many mental errors. That pass ball on Sunday, I didn't get a chance to see it. I was driving home from Columbus. But it's little things like that he has done consistently this entire season, especially this season, that I don't know how you keep him as your long-term answer for this team when you're looking at Hedges as your backup and him as your starter. I would start looking for a new catcher and maybe make Bo the backup. Because if you play Bo not every day, he probably wouldn't look as bad as I think he looks. But I'm very out on Bo right now, unfortunately. And I don't think it has anything to do with his brother being gone. I just think he's in a bad year, and he doesn't have what it takes to be the long-term catcher.
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy you say that because I was sitting there thinking, this is his 3rd year up in the majors, right?
Yeah.
So this is 2 years in a row where he's not looked good offensively. But the first year when he came up, that's what they said, right? He was a home run hitter. This guy's going to lengthen the lineup and all those things. And then last year we said, well, maybe he's working more on defense. So, it lacked a little bit offensively. And then this year, it's still the same thing. And I think that I got to go with the 2 years that I've seen over just the one. It's kind of like Jimenez. Jimenez, when we thought his first year when he was with the Guardians, he was this great hitter and all these things. And then the next couple of years, he could never duplicate those numbers. I think when you look at Bo, offensively, he might be able every now and again to get you a nice home run. But when you talk about a guy that's in your lineup every single day, no, he's not going to get it done. I definitely agree with Ant. I'll probably make him my backup catcher. I definitely look for another one. And that's kind of how I would roll with him as well.
Man, I was going to try to come save him, but
how can you?
I don't know. I don't know what you do with him. I'm not a baseball savant.
It's 2 years that you.
This is my mom's favorite player, or one of, and I don't know why. I'm like, you get no return on investment here, Mom. You cheered so hard at the house for this guy. Look, I think he's a guy that should be a backup catcher. I don't think this is crazy. I think his stick was supposed to be his strong suit. Mm-hmm. And when you can't cover up for the fact that you're not the greatest of defensive catchers, then you become a liability, because at that point, you need to be at least be good at one of them.
Yes.
And he's neither. So I look at him, and the problem is, if he could just give me power numbers, say for instance, if he was at 16 home runs.
Oh, yeah, it'd be a different story.
If he was 16 home runs and batting 202.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If he could cover the bottom of the lineup better,
I would be at least if you get some sneaky power at the bottom of the lineup, where it's if you make a mistake to Bo Naylor, he's going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. He's giving me 9 home runs. I need to see that more like 15, 16, and then maybe stomachable. But I don't know, Bull. I don't know if he's ever going to get to that point where he's going to be able to deliver you power numbers at a level where you can overlook some of those other deficiencies.
I want Kyle Riley numbers.
Yeah.
30-something
Now,
home
Cal
runs.
Raleigh hadn't put up these numbers till this year, which is like his 5th
What is he
year.
at, 36 home runs, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, he's been good, but not this good until this is his first year playing at this supreme level.
He on the juice.
But most of the top hitting catchers were good pretty close to right away. Guys take to develop. But, I don't think Bo Naylor. I
Pat
thought
Riley's been good the last 3 years, so I just looked up his numbers. Well, he's at 30 home runs now in 3 straight seasons, and his second season he hit 27 homers.
Oh,
his
man.
first real season. Cal Riley.
right, but if you look at his OPS, like it's a totally different story this year from the last
I
2
mean,
years.
yeah, it skyrocketed this year.
Right, he was
his rookie season, he had 27 homers and 60.
yeah, I mean the
ribbies.
power's
a
been there.
long-term
If he ever hit that,
What I'm saying is he went from being a good player to being an elite player this year.
I mean, he did have 34 homers, 100 ribbies last year.
I hear you. What was
As
his
a
OPS?
catcher.
750.
Right, because
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
he had some big holes in his game.
Struck out a ton.
Again, I'm not saying he was like for a catcher that was already outstanding. But as
finished
an
10th.
overall player, I would have called him a very good player
He
last
finished
year.
10th in MVP last year. So I just wanted to say it wasn't like that.
No. I'm not saying he came out of nowhere. I'm saying he took it to another level.
Okay,
He's
fair.
taken it to another. I mean,
Just wanted to clarify.
what's the most home runs he hit? 30 before this year?
34.
All right, now he's got 36 with half the season to
Got
go.
35 right now.
I'd say this is another level, Mike.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, I didn't say he wasn't good before this year. I'm saying he wasn't this
if
good.
anybody for the
Okay.
Guardians hits 30 home
I
runs,
see
we're
what
going
you're
crazy.
saying. I see
We're
what you're
trading
saying.
them immediately.
Right. If
Now that's
anybody-
rare. The power numbers he puts up are very rare amongst catchers. It doesn't really happen. Bo Naylor, I'm not going to say there's no chance he becomes a legitimate starting catcher because the truth is half the teams in the big leagues have guys that are in the same vein as Bo Naylor, maybe a little better offensively, but not much. There's not that many good offensive catchers. So he probably ends up being a starter, whether it's for the Guardians or somebody else. But the odds of him becoming like a catcher that you want to be your starter, I'd say are very slim.
Isn't David Fry also a catcher?
Yeah,
He was, but he hasn't
can't
caught
throw
in a couple of years. He can't catch right now. He can't play the field at all until next year.
Dang.
So
Does Bo look worse because he's in this lineup then? Is that, like, does he just stick out more?
I'm not giving him that excuse. He's
Okay.
just not. He played great for the last 2 months of the 2023 season, and he hasn't done a thing before or after. There wasn't much before, but the little before and after he's been horrible. He's going to get another opportunity next year because they're not going to spend big money on a catcher. And there's so many holes they got to fill anyway that I think he'll be given another opportunity next year. But I don't ever think he's going to be, one of these catchers like Cal Raleigh, like William Contreras, Will Smith of the Dodgers. But you never know. Like the Cubs catcher this year, their starting catcher is a guy named Carson Kelly. He's a veteran. I don't know how old he is. Mike, look up how old Carson Kelly is. He's in his 30s. And he's having a borderline all-star season this year, and he's never been a good hitter.
He turns 31 next week.
Yeah. What's his numbers right now?
This season, Carson Kelly is hitting 268. His OPS is 879 with 11 homers and 31 ribbies.
Yeah, for a catcher, that's phenomenal. What's the most home runs he ever hit before this year?
18.
All right, he's at 11 at the halfway point. What's his best OPS he's ever had in the season?
826, the same year he hit 18 home runs.
I'm surprised. What year was that?
19 with the Diamondbacks.
All right, so he had one good year in 19. He's been terrible not terrible, but he's been just a guy for the last few years. And so there are some players that it happens every once in a while at catcher.
How is that
But it's unlikely.
What's that Sean Murphy guy?
He's not playing full-time anymore.
I know you wanted to trade for him a couple years back.
Yeah, listen, he's going to be available this offseason. They've got a rookie catcher by the name of Drake Baldwin.
We had the
Atlanta.
Braves.
Yeah. And he's playing, they're splitting time. But they're gonna want Drake Baldwin to play every day next year. So they'll probably trade Sean Murphy. And he'd be an upgrade over.
His OPS is 804 right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. He's still good, but he's not as good as he was. But what's his contract? What's he got left on his contract?
I'd have to find.
You go to Baseball Reference, you can find that. But because depending on his contract, I mean, I would love to see and how old is he? What is he? 32?
His contract is for $15 million next year, 15 and 26. It's 15 every year till 2029. So he's got 4 years, $60 million left.
He's not getting no.
He's too old. How old is he?
He turns 31 at the end of the season.
He's a little younger than I thought, but they're not going to pay. They're not paying $15 million a year for a 31-year-old catcher.
The Guardians' contracts be like
Yeah.
7 years for $13 million.
In a pack of quarters.
Yeah.